Hi, I'm David Antony Reid, luthier. I just wanted to make a small video to demonstrate how I bend my three-piece ribs for my VaultBack guitars. It's a question I'm asked quite a lot actually, and it wasn't until yesterday I was actually having a chat with Keith Carlton of Carlton Guitar Cases, and he couldn't quite get his head around how I managed to achieve this. So I thought something to do would be make a little video, put it on YouTube. This is one of my ribs. You can see it's got walnut, cherry and then walnut with a thin veneer of a purple dyed wood. Basically, these are all just glued together with an aliphatic resin, what most luthiers use, Type Bond. And I bend them with a standard red hot iron set at its highest setting. You see how really hot. And this is one I made earlier. This is the mould internal mould that I build all my VaultBack guitars on. You can see the stripes there making it all up. This is the blocks, head and tail block in there, inserted into the mould. This one I bent it earlier, and you can see it's all clamped up. You see a few scorch marks and stuff. This basically will be cut back. I've started here cutting away at the actual rib to bring it down flush with the height of the mould. I've taken this middle section out so I can plane round from both edges easily. It gives me access. But as I say, what I'm here for is to demonstrate how I bend one of my ribs. Now, basically, I have my board here, standard, same as most people will. I never use any machines. The only machine I have is a pillar drill and a bandsaw there, really. I use a router to do my truss rod slots, but that's pretty much all I use. It's more all hand tools. So, using a centre point, which gives me the inner bout, exact centre, I start bending there, which gives us this tightest curve. This end has to book match perfectly with this end, so I have to measure exactly where to start bending so that it marries up with this end when I've finished. As I said before, the iron is red hot. It has to be absolutely burning hot, and I cannot use water. A lot of makers don't use machines and use hand bending. They will actually use water, which steams into the wood when you touch the hot iron. I can't do that with this because obviously one of the ways of actually taking a guitar apart is to use steam and water, because the glue will melt and soften with the steam and water. Obviously if I do this they're going to fall to pieces. So what I have to do is make my ribs around about 2mm thick. They are slightly thinner than standard ribs, but I guess there isn't a particular standard as such. I make them slightly thinner, 2mm, 1.9, 2mm. What I do is work fast, and I have to get it on here and start bending it and just working at it, so I can avoid splitting this glue line here. So I'm just going to start. As you can see the steam coming off of there, which is moisture in the wood already, and that is enough if you work fast and you don't get all of that steam out quickly. That's enough to just bend it. As I say, it's so hot, you've got to work faster, you just burn the wood. checking that I'm going the right way, and this is my shape that I'm trying to form it to. Almost there. It's starting to dry out quite a lot now. I can tell from experience that there's not a lot of moisture left in that wood, and steam's a little Spartan now, so I have to be careful. You have to always keep it moving, not just sit it on and bend it. You've got to keep it moving, because if you just pull at it, what happens is you get lumps, you don't get a smooth curve. And I can see little bits of the veneer are popping out, but that can easily be clamped back up again. I can easily stick that back in. It's not the end of the world. And this will happen in the other parts as well. This being the tightest curve is the hardest to do, of course. It's actually very, very difficult to bend anyway, this Spanish walnut. It's quite brittle, and it's figured as well, so there's two problems to combat there. Now what happens is sometimes, once you get to a certain stage with it, you can turn the iron down just a little bit to stop it from burning. These do get incredibly hot. So, there we have it. That's the curve I want, and that's all good. As I say, there's a slight bit of veneer coming out there. I can glue that up, no problem at all. So the process is just continued, as you would with any pen and size, until, as I say, it ends up like this one here. And then I glue it onto the sides and shave it all down, and then start building the staves up on the back to form the back. It takes a long time, and even to prepare these ribs, to actually make the ribs, which have to be done one part at a time and then glued up to each other, it can take at least a day. sometimes just to make the ribs. The bending of them isn't too bad, it's pretty much standard, you know. Sometimes there's a little patching up has to be done, but other than that it's just the same. So there you are. That's how I bend my ribs for the VaultBacks that I make. Thanks for watching.